There's a persistent stereotype of the guy who does everything right. He's polite, caring, tries to be a good friend, always supportive, avoids conflicts, and never harms anyone. Logically, you'd assume such a person would achieve success, that he'd be respected, trusted, and chosen by others. But reality tells a different story. The issue is that this nice guy lives by someone else's rules. He acts the way he was taught, not the way the world actually works. He assumes that if he's good, people will automatically reciprocate. He waits for recognition but doesn't demand it. He believes that patience and compliance are the path to success. But life doesn't operate by these laws. In the end, he gets overtaken by people who are more daring, confident, and less constrained. Such a guy often suffers from internal conflict. After all, he's doing everything right, so why isn't he getting what he wants? Why is he being ignored, used, or not taken seriously? He gets angry at the world, at others, but rarely at himself. He doesn't understand that his main mistake isn't a lack of good deeds, but a flawed mindset. He waits for approval instead of taking what's his. Men who achieve success think differently. They understand that the world doesn't reward you simply for good behavior. What matters is initiative, taking action without waiting for permission. What matters is the ability to take risks, even when there's a chance of facing rejection. What matters is readiness to move forward without waiting for someone to allow or tell you what to do. The nice guy rarely takes risks because he's afraid. He was taught that mistakes are bad. He strives to avoid judgment because he's used to the idea that being good is more important than being brave. He doesn't voice his desires because he was taught that it's selfish. But look at how the world actually functions. Who gets the best opportunities? Who commands respect? Those who aren't afraid to take what's theirs, to make themselves known, to set the rules. They don't strive to be correct, they strive to be effective. They're willing to be uncomfortable if it's necessary to achieve their goals. They understand that conflict isn't always evil, but sometimes a necessary tool. Those who are afraid to say no become the ones who are constantly told no. Those who fear appearing pushy remain in the shadows. Those who wait to be chosen watch as others get selected. This doesn't mean you need to become rude or unprincipled. It's not about being bad, it's about stopping being afraid to be yourself. Stop waiting for permission. Stop thinking that someone will eventually decide to give you what you want. In this world, things aren't distributed fairly. Here, those who dare to reach out their hand take what they want. The way out is to stop being correct to your own detriment. Start putting your goals above others' expectations. Start taking responsibility instead of shifting it to others. Start speaking directly instead of hoping someone will guess. This is harder than just being a nice guy, but it works. It's important to understand that internal transformation takes time. You won't become confident and decisive overnight. It's a process that begins with recognizing your mistakes. Admit that fear of making mistakes controls you. Recognize that the desire to please others prevents you from moving forward. Awareness of the problem is the first step to solving it. The next step is to stop fearing rejection. Anyone who has achieved something has faced failures. The difference is that some use them as an excuse to give up, while others use them as lessons. If you don't take risks, you're guaranteed to stay stuck. Another important moment is learning to handle conflict. This doesn't mean starting arguments, but rather defending your boundaries. Nice guys often agree to conditions that aren't beneficial to them. They don't voice their desires and don't defend their position. As a result, they're perceived as convenient but not significant. When you learn to say no, when you stop making excuses for your desires, when you accept that you don't owe it to anyone to be convenient, you'll start noticing how people's attitudes toward you change. Respect doesn't come to those who please everyone, but to those who aren't afraid to be themselves. So stop waiting, start acting. The world belongs to those who dare.